Well, this is what the allotment looked like last week, and that was also the time I declared to the world my intentions to grow all of my food right here. More precisely, July this year, every single scrap of food that I eat needs to be grown right here. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it's not started out very well. I've got my peas and beans here that have been pummeled by a winter storm and then been frosted. I've got a compost bin that's colder than my fridge at home, and the only thing that seems to be growing well at the moment are all these weeds. I've even got some raised beds that haven't even been filled with compost. I've got one raised bed that hasn't even been built, and a non-existent greenhouse. Now, all that being said, it's not all bad. My overwintering onions, garlics and shallots are doing quite well, so if all else fails, at least in July, I'll get to have onion, shallot and garlic soup with a garnish of spring onion. I'm not sure what it's going to taste like, but I'm guessing it's going to be a bit oniony. And because onions give me chronic wind, I'm also guessing I'm going to spend quite a lot of July alone. But to drag myself back to the positives, I've also got quite a lot of raspberries that I managed to get for free from a fellow allotmentier, and I've planted those and the buds are already starting to appear. And I've also ordered another 20 canes to get planted right next to these. And all of the berry bushes that I planted last year are doing quite well, so we should be sorted for honeyberries, josterberries, aronia berries, and even strawberries. So at the very least I will get to have something nice and sweet after I've finished off a nice big bowl of onion gruel. But now I've got quite a lot of work to do, and job number one is going to be sorting out all of these weeds so I can see where I'm going to be planting. Well, I've almost got the josterberry and aronia berry bed sorted. That's a mouthful. These are both self-fertile, so they will still get some fruit this year, although probably not a lot, so I'm not expecting a gigantic bowl of fruit. The honeyberry bed is the one I'm going to be moving on to. Some of you might even remember when I planted these. Those aren't actually self-fertile, but fortunately I have 3 different kinds, so they should be fine. Again, Don't know how many berries I'm going to get. I just hope they fruit by July. Well, I was struggling to find some music for this next time lapse, so I went with this. Apologies in advance. I'm making no further comments about that soundtrack. Now I'm going to have to take this fleece off. It's been really pummeled by the weather, so I'm getting rid of it. And I'm also going to have a rethink about this bed. It contains field beans and peas at the moment. They're both very hardy and they may even recover from what's happened to them. But this is now going to be my new strawberry bed. So out with the beans and peas and in with the strawberries. But before I do that, I really need to go and get some compost and dig up all my strawberries at home. So that's where we're going. And now we're in the greenhouse, and this is going to be used predominantly to grow plants and to sell them. So I'm going to remove these two raised beds, which is where I normally grow tomatoes and cucumbers. And we're going to take this compost to the allotment and the raised beds. And then this is all going to be shelved with all my micro nursery plants on. While I was tidying the greenhouse up, I ordered some new shelves, so the next time you see the greenhouse, it's going to look a lot different. But now I'm going to jump in the garden and steal all of these strawberries and get them planted at the allotment. Now, this may look quite brutal, but these strawberries are going to be just fine. The roots are still quite dormant at the moment and haven't actively begun growing. And with a little bit of TLC at the allotment, they will be just fine. That being said, if you're going to do something like this with a plant and then transport it elsewhere, it's probably a good idea if you give the roots a splash of water first. I'm still going to do that, but I am actually taking these literally straight up to the allotment. There are quite a few different types of strawberry in amongst this batch. I'm just going to plonk them in. I happen to know quite a few of them will be ready by my July challenge, so at least I'll get to eat some strawberries. And I've left the loops on this bed because that's where I'm going to net them, because I'm not sharing any of my strawberries with the birds or my children. Now, I'm not putting down these in any particular order. I'll try and keep a little bit of uniformity, but I will leave quite a lot of the runners on these strawberries because I would rather have more strawberry plants than more strawberries. Well, you know what they say, give a man a strawberry and he'll eat it Give a man a strawberry plant and he'll eat strawberries forever, for a long time. Or it goes something like that. Now the last job I've got to do today is to plant something that a lot of gardeners really don't like. A lot of them will actively avoid going anywhere near it. It's the Jerusalem artichoke. Now, I absolutely love these, and the main reason is the same reason that a lot of gardeners dislike them. I can plant these and I can crop them forever. No matter how hard I try and dig these up at the end of the year, I'm going to be leaving some bits behind, but I will get another crop the following year. Personally, what's not to like? Free food forever. Although I do understand why some gardeners don't like them. They are extremely tall. They could reach 6 or 7 feet. But they're going to be covered in beautiful sunflower-like flowers. In fact, I believe these are related to sunflowers. They can also have a nasty habit of trying to escape out into the wild, although they shouldn't have much chance of doing that here, because around this raised bed is going to be getting regularly trimmed and mowed. So the biggest problem for me is I'm planting these, and these have got absolutely nothing to do with my July challenge, because these aren't going to be ready until the end of year or the beginning of next year. So you can see where I fall down in my planning stages. I'm planting food that I can eat in winter when I really need food I can eat in July, which is what we're going to be moving on to next. So we're zipping back home again briefly to chit my potatoes. Now these potatoes are going to be the first earlies. They will be ready for the July challenge, and in fact they are going to be my main calorie source for the entire month. So I need quite a lot of them. So if you see how many I've got here, I have 4 times this amount, and they all need to be chitted and then planted at the allotment. So if these potatoes are my calories, what I have in this envelope is my protein. But that is going to be covered in next week's video. So that's almost it for today. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. And if you have any questions about any of this crazy stuff I'm doing, or even advice, please fire away in the comments section.